Welcome to Get Married. I'm Colin Cowie. You definitely want your wedding to stand out from all the others. And one way to do that is with a unique venue. Today, I'll give you lots of creative options.
And I'm Deanna Pappas. Your wedding should tell your personal love story, and so should your wedding video. We've got expert advice on how to do just that. Get ready, it's Get Married.
A trend that I've noticed amongst brides is that they want to turn their weddings into a 3-day destination to celebrate their marriage. This is a great idea for brides with lots of out-of-town guests or those wanting a more intimate affair. GetMarried.com and I have advice and ideas for choosing the venue that allow you to achieve the wedding of your dreams. And to create that dream wedding, the location of your wedding is the biggest factor. It sets the tone for the entire event, be it 3 days or a small intimate gathering. A unique venue will make your wedding truly unforgettable for your guests. Here's some great options for those of you looking for a creative ceremony spot. If you want your event to be different, think out of the box. It doesn't have to be a hotel, a beach, or a place of worship. It's always fun to try and find a place your guests have not experienced. This will pave the way for a unique wedding. Whatever you decide, make sure you enlist the help of a professional.
One of the important things when you're planning a wedding in an alternative venue is to make sure that you do have a wedding planner or a key family member that's working with you, because they're not normally doing events there, so this is new to them.
Big cities are a fantastic place to find competent planners and also unique wedding venues. If you're going for pure drama and glamour, saying "I do" at a theatre lets everyone know the moment is yours.
It's a wonderful, unique place to have an event where guests can experience something more than a show. The marquee is a wonderful way to highlight your event and put your name up in lights to welcome your guests and show them what a great experience they're going to have as they're arriving.
Art galleries are in abundance in big cities and are an ideal place to make your wedding day a masterpiece. The collections can also inspire your whole theme.
Is truly for the creative bride, somebody who's looking for something a little bit out of the box.
We created a cake that was representative of the great Impressionist painter Claude Monet. Food coloring was used in place of paint and hand brushed onto rolled fondant. It was presented behind a picture frame to look like a painting, and it was a huge success.
Many regard the great outdoors as God's canvas. For couples who love nature, it can provide a glorious backdrop and a memorable destination wedding.
We're surrounded by many hardwood trees, trout streams, waterfalls, having a private setting, and having a place that's just oh so special in so many ways. We so many times find out that our brides had just the perfect day here.
The guests feel like they're at their own personal retreat. The trees make great borders, the river, it just kind of adds a passion to the location.
For a lot of couples, sports play a huge part in their lives, and now many hometown stadiums are offering wedding packages. This lets you get into places reserved for sports stars, all without a ticket.
It is located in the infield, so you have panoramic views of the track, and it gives you a setting unlike anything else, especially if any of your guests are Rays fans or if you yourself are a Rays fan.
For a more personal, intimate location, consider getting married at a home. Just remember, it doesn't have to be your own.
You can always ask a friend if they have a unique, beautiful home. It can be simple, it can be along the beach, it can be something fabulous like a huge mansion, modern or European antique old homes, and also out in the desert. There's some amazing architecture.
Usually having your wedding at a private home provides added flexibility.
You can bring in your own caterer compared to a hotel that has their in-house catering. The other flexibility is you can bring in your own liquor. There has to be a liquor liability policy in place, but you can bring in a beverage company to bring that in.
Whatever unique venue you eventually settle on, always remember this. As memorable as your wedding location may be, the most unforgettable part of your day will be the moment you say, "I do." To find wonderful venues where you live, visit the local resources pages on getmarried.com.
When it comes to unique venues, a football field is definitely an unexpected location. Unless, of course, you're a pro player like Baltimore Ravens tight end Dan Wilcox. He and his bride felt right at home when they said "I do" on the Ravens' 50-yard line, in a beautiful ceremony that could be called a true wedding touchdown. Game day took on a different meaning for football player Dan Wilcox and Shauna Chin when they said their "I do's" midfield at the Baltimore Ravens M&T Bank Stadium. Having transformed the grassy arena into a magical wonderland, Daniel and Shauna surrounded themselves with 350 of their closest friends and family for this special day. Fairy tale-inspired decor surrounded guests, and Shauna took it up a notch with a true Cinderella entrance onto the field in a horse-drawn carriage. Dressed in a Panina Tournée custom gown, complete with a 10-foot-long train, Shauna was escorted down the aisle by her mother, carrying a bouquet of special significance. A lit candle sat in the center of her bouquet in memory of her father who passed away. In order to honor the sacred union created by Daniel and Shauna's love, they performed a special sand ceremony where the bride and groom each poured silver and blue sand into a vase. But the magic of this wedding didn't end there. As guests entered the reception, they were greeted by a giant storybook displaying the newly married couple's photo and story of how they met. Then it was time to get the party started. The groomsmen made quite the entrance as they danced their way into the reception room, followed by the bridesmaids rocking out to their own song. Daniel and Shauna were not to be outdone as they performed their own unique entrance, dance moves and all. Guests joined the couple on the dance floor and later looked as they cut the 5-tiered wedding cake that Shauna personally designed with a local baker. Fun was had by all as guests witnessed the newly Mr. and Mrs. Wilcox at the beginning of their new life together. This fairy tale wedding shows that dreams do come true. To see more celebrity weddings and follow along with brides planning their wedding just like you, check out the real wedding pages of getmarried.com. Coming up on Get Married, cake designer Sylvia Weinstock creates edible masterpieces for the rich, famous, and regular brides, and you're about to meet her. Plus, we'll show you how to tell your love story and capture it all on video. And Colin's got a truly chic wedding tip just for you. It's all ahead on Get Married. Your wedding day reads like a fairy tale, but before the happy ending, your real love story unfolds. How you and your groom met, fell in love, and got engaged. And that story can become part of your wedding day. Here's celebrity videographer Brett Culp.
Love stories are videos that tell the story of your relationship. How you met, how you fell in love, how you decided to get married. And usually they're a combination of interviews and video shot of the two of you. And sometimes they include snapshots if that can add to the story. It's equivalent to what you might do with your photographer in an engagement session. And usually these love story videos are played at your rehearsal dinner or at your reception because it allows the guests to feel like they're more part of your celebration. In many cases, most of the guests won't know the story of your relationship, or they'll know one of you better than the other. And what a love story video does is it brings them into the story of your wedding celebration and allows them to feel like they're really part of it and that they know what's going on. Now, there's not just one approach to wedding love story videos. The approach can be as unique as you are and as unique as your wedding is. You can choose for it to be romantic and dramatic or goofy and fun. It all depends on you and your personality and the way you want your video to feel. So I recommend that you choose places to film your love story that are unique and personal for you. The place where you had your first date, the place that's your favorite restaurant, something that's an inside joke for you and your friends. The more personal you can make it, the more meaningful it'll be for you, and the more it'll pull your guests into the story of your relationship in the background. Most of all, make it personal. Make it a reflection of your relationship so that when you look back at that video years from now and you see that love story, you say to yourself, hey, that's us. That's what we were like when we got married.
For more info on videographers and other awesome wedding professionals in your area, check out the local resources pages at getmarried.com.
Sylvia Weinstock's story is a bestseller. From her small shop in New York City, she creates gorgeous cakes for kings, princesses, and Hollywood royalty. I've worked with Sylvia on several occasions, and this extraordinary lady is not only a super talent, but she's extremely down to earth, finding inspiration for those delectable cakes from the world around her.
Art is all around you, and if you can open your eyes to see design and something that is beautiful, then you'll be able to translate that into something material.
That something material is magic in her hands. Botanically correct sugar flours that look freshly picked, and cakes carved into amazing shapes that defy description. I wonder if she has a favorite.
You're asking a mother to choose which is her favorite child, and that's very hard to do. I think everything that walks out of this shop has been done with love and integrity.
Even when she's working on an order for Martha Stewart or Oprah Winfrey, this former substitute school teacher keeps it very real, as she's done from the beginning.
I got started designing cakes many years ago. I was a mother, a non-skier in a ski house where everybody went off for the day, and I would cook and bake. And it turned out that I baked more cakes than 3 girls wanted to eat.
She started selling her cakes to local restaurants and fine-tuning the 2 secrets to her hard-won success: fabulous decorations and fresh taste.
If you could combine both and make a beautiful cake that was delicious, you would really have a product.
That product is now as famous for its gorgeous looks as its amazingly delicious flavors that customers taste from a plate shaped like a painter's palette, befitting Sylvia's reputation as the artist.
Blood orange and key lime and coconut and strawberry, raspberry, mocha, Nutella, chocolate, hazelnut, pistachio, anything, you name it. If we don't have it, we'll make it for you.
And when it comes to the size of the cake, Sylvia believes that size does matter. Having a big wedding, have a big cake. Having a small wedding?
If you're having 35 people to 50 people, there's nothing wrong with a small cake that's a jewel. It's an absolute gem in that everything is scaled to size.
For this wedding cake maker to the stars, the bottom line, it's not about glitz and glamour. Her best advice to any couple planning a wedding:
it's in their taste to walk into something that's overdone and say, wow, that must have cost a fortune. You don't want that. You want something that where people walk in and say, this is beautiful. This is just like them. This is their taste level. It's lovely.
For some inspiring cakes, check out Ideas and Decor on the planning pages of getmarried.com.
Don't go away. Up next, Colin's got a tip to help make your wedding fabulous. And Destination Romance gives etiquette advice for your wedding invites. Stay with us.
Your wedding cake is the focal point of your entire wedding celebration. It's that iconic picture that you see taken with the bride and groom at the reception. It's the one guaranteed menu item that you know your guest can't wait to taste. In my book, Wedding Chic, I've got some advice on making your cake both mouth-watering and memorable. When it comes to designing your cake, I like to leave this to the last thing that I do. Visit the cake baker of your choice, armed with beautiful pictures of what it is that you like and what it is that you don't like in a cake. Bring samples of your fabrics with you, your wedding dress, table linens and centerpieces. This way you can inspire the baker with the elements that make up your wedding, resulting in a totally personalized wedding cake. Your cake can be round, it can be rectangular, or it can be stacked. There are so many different ways that you can design a wedding cake. But whatever it is, since it's the focal point of the day, make sure that it's prominently displayed. Cakes can be decorated with fresh flowers, dried flowers, silk flowers, or with icing flowers. You can choose fondant icing or buttercream icing. There are so many different delicious finishes and flavors. And of course, when it comes to working with your cake baker, confirm with them in writing the date, the time, the place, and the exact location where the cake is going to be delivered. Also, insist on doing a tasting. Make sure that you come up with a flavor that is season-specific and one that's going to enhance your menu. And remember, if you can't give them bread, give them cake. For more of my tips on having a fabulous wedding, check out the Colin Cowie pages on getmarried.com.
Destination weddings are a hot trend, but when it comes to your guests, it gets a bit more involved than a wedding at home. How much advance notice do you need to give the guests? What expenses are you expected to cover? How do you welcome them to the destination? We ask Destination Romance for the proper etiquette when it comes to your guests for a destination wedding. Many brides and grooms these days are choosing to get away from it all for their wedding day, be it an exotic beach location to the bright lights of Las Vegas. But when it comes to the guests for a destination wedding, there is some proper etiquette to follow to make sure you and your guests have the most spectacular experience at your wedding. The first thing to do is solidify your wedding date and location, and be sure to send out save-the-date invitations as soon as possible so guests can arrange their schedules accordingly and perhaps make a vacation out of the trip. Sending save-the-dates that coordinate with your destination are guaranteed to get your guests excited for the day. When choosing your date and location, however, there are certain aspects to carefully consider: your budget, the types of activities offered, and whether or not you and your guests will need passports. It's a great idea to bring a passport wallet, one easy place to fit your passport, credit cards, and cash for your trip. Just be sure to order your passport early, as they may take up to 6 months to arrive. Now, brides planning a destination wedding should also include accommodation information with the save the date or with the invitations sent 4 months prior to the wedding. While you're not expected to pay for your guests' travel and accommodations, giving them plenty of advance notice will help them with costs, and the accommodation information can provide a range of places to stay, both budget-friendly and luxurious. It's also a great idea to get a block of rooms at a discounted rate for your guests at a hotel, and provide them with this information as well. It is proper etiquette, however, for the bride and groom to cover the accommodation expenses for the wedding party. When your guests arrive for your wedding, start the festivities off right by giving guests a special welcome and thank you, with a thoughtful hospitality bag awaiting their arrival in their hotel room. Fill gift bags with fun items specific to the location of your wedding. Having your wedding on the beach? Get the party started by filling the gift bags with flip-flops and beach balls. Then, as an additional thank you for attending your wedding, when it's all over, provide your guests with wedding favors that will remind them of your special weekend. Bring favor boxes that you can fill with local treats. Because destination weddings often meet a smaller guest list, a big trend has become at-home receptions. Send a special announcement to your loved ones telling them that you got married and inviting them to your reception. This is definitely an opportunity to have some fun. Make your guests feel truly a part of your wedding experience by decorating your reception to recreate the destination wedding. When all your wedding events are over and you're celebrating your time as newlyweds, don't forget to send out thank you cards to everyone for making the trip to your wedding, whether at the destination or the at-home reception. There are considerations to make when it comes to your guests that are unique to a destination wedding. But if you make sure to follow these guidelines, you and your guests are sure to have an unforgettable time at your destination wedding. You can find all of these items and more great ideas by Invitations by Dawn in the Invitation Gallery on getmarried.com. What's hot right now for brides? A stress-free way to change your name once you become a Mrs. We know you're probably dreading the hassle of changing your name, but it doesn't have to be difficult thanks to MissNowMrs.com. It's the premier online name-changing service that takes care of the tricky paperwork for you. Your time is valuable, especially when you're a newlywed. Add it all up, and it can take as long as 13 hours to research and carry out the name-changing procedures. After all, you've got to change your driver's license, passport, mortgage, medical info, credit cards, Social Security, and alert countless other agencies about your new status. MissNowMrs.com handles all of that for you, following all of the laws of your state. All you have to do is go online and answer some questions. They use that information to fill out all the forms you need. You then print those forms and send them to the various agencies that need them. To make it even easier, the site tells you exactly which agencies need which paperwork and any fees or special instructions that you'll need to follow. That saves you from making common filing mistakes that can delay the whole name-changing process. And you don't have to worry. All of your personal information is secure. The site has turned the nightmare name-changing process into a breeze for more than 30,000 brides in all 50 states. MissNowMrs.com makes a fantastic practical bridal shower gift. And while it helps you with your paperwork, you're also helping others. 5% of the proceeds from the site go to the Making Memories Breast Cancer Foundation. Thanks to MissNowMrs.com, red tape and mountains of paperwork won't dampen your delight when you say I do and announce your new name to the world. And that will make your wonderful new beginning easier. For more info on MissNowMrs.com, check out their site or go to the What's Hot pages on GetMarried.com.
Get Married's Blogger Brides is the online community where our expert star blogger and brides-to-be blog daily about tips, trends and cool wedding finds. You can also make friends and get your own ideas out there, so make sure you visit Get Married's Blogger Brides. I'm Colin Cowie. We'll see you right here next time.